On this week's episode of keeping my 30-year-old car on the road, we're gonna be fixing the transmission, hopefully. If you guys missed the last video, I basically explained what kind of happened to me on the highway while I was driving the 3rd gen Prelude home. Essentially, the transmission, I believe, ran dry of fluid due to a leak. One of you guys actually made a very, very important comment on the last video, and I think I even have yet to reply to it and say thank you, but he basically made a point about the vehicle speed sensor possibly having like an O-ring or not being seated correctly and basically causing a leak. I am pretty sure that that could be the likely cause of this whole thing, because when I did the swap back almost a year ago now, I never was able to get my speed sensor to work, and I've never had a speedo since then. And what I've also noticed since then, given it's pretty wet in here just because of the work I had to do on the side of the highway or at a Lowe's parking lot with a janky funnel and oil, it's a little wet and messy in here, but for the longest time back here on this, I don't even know if you guys can see it down there, the cross member is always damp. It's always wet and there's always something going on. I was never able to figure out where a leak was coming from, but the vehicle speed sensor is right over there. It's basically where this cable follows down into the transmission. Now real quick, and then we'll get into today's video, but because my Prelude is a 1988, it had the manual speed sensor, which is basically a cable driven speed sensor, and the donor car that I got my manual transmission out of was a 91. It had the electronic speed sensor. So I did my best to, I know you take the bottom end of your original one and then you fit it to the top end. I don't remember exactly what I did, maybe it was vice versa, but you basically make a hybrid speed sensor out of the two components from the 88 and the 91. And I think I basically did not do it correctly because obviously my speedo never worked, but I also think maybe that led to a leak because I just feel like I messed something up there. I have to start the video off by just cleaning the engine bay down here. I want to hit all of this with some degreaser and try and just clean it up a little bit so that way I can have a bit of an easier time spotting a leak and just working in there. So I'm gonna grab some degreaser and just kind of start cleaning up the engine bay, trying to clean up that mess that I made the other day and see if we can make working on this engine bay a little bit nicer. Probably a bit hard to see down there, but it is, I guess, a little bit cleaner. What I'm trying to remember is how the vehicle speed sensor is connected to the tranny. I think it's one bolt and I can see it. It's just gonna be a real pain to get to. So I guess I'm gonna try and get the vehicle speed sensor removed. I'll show you guys the leftover parts I have. If my memory serves me correctly, this was the top half of the 91 speed sensor, and obviously you have an electronic speed sensor, so this is not usable. I can't even use that at all. Now this is the bottom half of, I can't remember if this is the old auto one or if this was this altogether. Either way, I think this piece is important and might be missing from my setup, which is also why perhaps my speedo doesn't work at all. So I'm gonna try and just take the speedo out and see if I can make sense of some of this. I finally just got the vehicle speed sensor unbolted and I was pulling it out, and as I was pulling it out, I heard something drop off the bottom of it. I felt my finger in there and like the transmission where the vehicle speed sensor just came out of, and I felt something in there. I imagine whatever fell off the bottom of the speed sensor, and there's no way I can get it, guys. I can barely touch it with the tip of my finger, and it's not gonna happen. So now I'm pretty sure if I even try and like start the car and use that transmission, I think that metal piece is just gonna fall further and further into the tranny and probably just, you know, do whatever that's gonna do inside. So this may be the last video with the 3rd gen Prelude for a while. I can't afford to do any sort of motor or transmission swap right now. And it's just, I can't. It is what it is, guys. I had a good run with this thing. I tried my best to keep this motor, this B20A3 with the dual carbs, working and then manual swapping it. And I think I got pretty lucky, I guess, for the most part. And I guess it is what it is. It's just extremely inconvenient timing right now. As you guys know, I just sold the F30 and this was going to be my daily for the time being. Basically, I've been holding off on some big news that Jen and I have. Essentially, guys, we're moving. I'm not gonna say where, it's out of state, but we're moving, and that's coming up in a few months, and I really just needed this car to make it to that point. And then my plan was to, once we were in the new place, I was going to pick up the new build and start there. But unfortunately now the Prelude is out for the count. I don't have another car for myself, and we still have to move. That just really sucks, dude. That just really sucks, guys. I'm gonna spend some time, probably the next few days, re-strategizing my plan here. But obviously I need a car, one, to get around with, and two, to make content. Like, I'm trying to make this my full-time job, and if I don't even have a car to work on, obviously that's problematic. If you have any tips, I don't know. So if you do have some crazy good tips or something that I could maybe make a salvageable situation out of this with, let me know down in the comments. Otherwise, like I said, guys, I'm gonna spend a few days probably re-strategizing here, re-strategizing what my plan's gonna be for content, re-strategizing how I'm gonna end up moving. I mean, it's just, everything is now totally off the table, and it's my fault. You know, I was really hinging everything on this 30-year-old car working properly, which was not the best idea, but it's had a good run so far, so I kind of assumed I could just make do with whatever happened. I could fix it, but I don't think there's fixing this one, guys. So I took Oma to go get this thing here, this magnetic extension retrieving tool, and I tried, guys. I tried to get it out. I tried going fishing for a while. Didn't find anything. I even tried sticking my finger back in to see if I could try and feel it again, and didn't even feel it. So what I've done here is, by the way, I'm pretty sure this is what fell off. So I went ahead and I had an extra bottom VSS sensor here, so I went ahead and attached that. But this was the one that was just on the car, and as you can tell, it's missing that little gear. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. I mean, I'm pretty sure the tranny is toast now because that fell inside. So essentially, I think it's just gonna get lodged somewhere, and it's gonna prevent me from shifting into gears. So we're gonna, I guess, send it, because if it is that case, then the tranny's already effed. And I'm gonna try and basically put this back in there, hook up the power steering lines back onto the VSS. I have to hook up a few other things back, put it together, and then I think there's enough fluid in there still to at least start the car and see if it works. I don't even know what to say about this, guys. We're just gonna try it. Let's put everything back together in the Prelude, so we can go ahead and see what happens here if we try and do some transmission things. All right, so I guess first, clutch in, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, reverse. I can get into all the gears. Nothing's like bonding or grinding yet, I guess. That's good. Okay, let's try and start the car. Started. I guess we'll give it a whirl, man. Forward and first. So far, so good. I don't even want to clutch out all the way. Let's try reverse. Runs. I'm gonna let it warm up. The Prelude's been running for a few minutes, so we're gonna go ahead and see what happens, I guess. I'm so nervous right now. I think I'm more nervous than when I first test drove after the manual swap. So I'm in reverse right now. I don't really hear any weird noises or anything. First gear. Second gear. Oh, I heard a noise. Yep, that's it. That's it, she's toast. I shut the camera off and then kept driving up the road a bit, and I actually was able to get through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th and reverse, and I didn't hear any noises. Dude, this is just like the most stressful thing ever, guys. I'm not even sure where this video is at this point. I think I've given up and gotten hope and then given up and then gotten hope and then given up like at least 3 times. I don't know. So I apologize for this video being all over the place. My head's all over the place right now. Like I said, I have, you know what, I think the next video, I didn't want to tell you guys yet. It was going to be a surprise, but the whole, like, I'm just going to tell you in the next video, like, what I had planned for the next few months, and that way you'll better understand the frustration of what's going on right now, and we'll kind of go with it like that. But I know a lot of you were looking forward to seeing, like, how to do this whole transmission flush thing, and it's super easy, guys. There's a fill bolt and a drain bolt. You just have to make sure the car's level. Open the fill bolt, then open the drain bolt, let it drain out, put the drain bolt back in, put in your liquid until it pours back out of the fill hole, and that's when you know it's full. Put your fill bolt back in and you're done. I'm just like, I've kind of lost motivation for filming and creativity for today, and I just kind of want to sit with my thoughts in this car for a little bit and figure some stuff out. I just finished up with draining out the old fluid and putting the new transmission fluid in. I've got it up on jack stands up front, and then I'm just using the jack in the back to level it out, and then I'll show you real quick. So underneath the car, here's the bottom of the transmission. That bolt right there with the little kind of copperish looking washer on it is with the square opening is your drain bolt, and then just up there, you probably can't see it, the big one up there is a 17 mil. So you just need to pop open the fill bolt and the drain bolt, and then that's it, you know, it's an oil change at that point. So I just want to show you guys real quick what that looks like. And just over here is what I ended up using. So per the recommendation of Extreme Daily Drivers, went ahead and bought 2 quarts of this Synchro Mesh by Pennzoil. So instead of manual transmission fluid, I'm gonna give this a shot. Wow, this video has been all over the place, guys. I'm sorry for that. I just, you know, life, sometimes things don't go your way and YouTube content doesn't go as planned, but we're just gonna keep crushing our way through it. And because of all this, I'm gonna have to let you guys in on a secret that I've been keeping for a while, but I'll have to, in an upcoming video, spill the beans because it's gonna be too hard to keep it a secret with all the issues going on with this Prelude. So stay tuned, guys. If you enjoyed this one, thumbs up, comments down below. Subscribe if you're new here. You know what to do. Keep elevating. Adios. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Bro, I don't even know how. I don't even know what to tell you guys. Somehow everything